Hey folks, it's King from Stay Tuned Sports, and I gotta tell you, I love energy drinks. They help give me that boost that I need to finish all my work, get through game film recaps from all of Sunday's games, and they provide that pick-me-up during a very long week. What I don't love is that crash and the jitters, the gross feeling you get with most other energy drinks. And that's why I tried Dubby, and I gotta tell you, Dubby is a game changer with flavors like Dragonade, Beach and Peach, Galaxy Grenade, and my personal favorite, the Dub Sludge. You can find your favorite or just get them all. There's no jitters, there's no crash because there's no sugar in Dubby. Plus, Dubby contains Neurofactor, an all-natural ingredient derived from coffee cherries, which has been linked to enhance brain function. You go on over to dubby.gg right now. That's dubby.gg to grab the best energy drink you've ever had. And if you enter the code STSports18 in all caps, you'll get 10% off your order. That's STSports18 to get 10% off of Dubby. Be better.
And hello there, all you stay tuners. Hey, listen, fuck the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here. First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello to all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here with our good buddy King. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. New show, new tune to open up the song there. I want to say thanks to the King for putting that together. I can't stop laughing every time I with the clips that you put in there about eating chocolate is like a priest,
Catholic root for
yeah.
Satan. Dude, listen, we have some great clips on this show. That's what I mean. I think it's a good idea if we just, that'll be. I think we'll refresh that every now and then because we keep on saying, funny shit on the show.
Well, yeah.
There's always going to be another treasure trove of audio to keep plugging into that. But I like that. I like that opening. I think it sounds good. Listen, it's not. Here's the thing. It's not about us.
No.
It's about you, the listeners out there. Do you like it? Do you not? Anything like that? Let us know. You can go over and tell us on all of our social media at ST Sports Podcast. That's on all of our social media. I think except for Facebook, it's at Stay Tuned Sports. I don't know why that one's different, but it is. But everything else is ST Sports Podcast. That's Instagram. That is Twitter. That is even TikTok. So let us know what you think about that. And also, if you check the Twitter bio, and I think the bios of anything else that we have out there, we have the link to our Discord. So you can tell us immediately, right now. You don't have to go. You could type a tweet if you want to. That's fine. But you can go to the Discord and let us know what you think about that, or anything else about the show, or anything else that you're thinking. Like, hey, yeah, what a hell of a no-hitter last night, or that's not a real no-hitter. I can't believe it. This is terrible. Whatever. Either one.
Don't get me started about that no-hitter too. But even like to give you guys a little bit of insight into Discord, especially NASCAR with what happened this past weekend. You see what happened this past weekend?
Here's the thing. I'll put this out there. I am not a NASCAR guy. I'm not. Never really have been. I was for a little bit when I was trying to get laid with this one girl, but she was a real NASCAR aficionado. So I was like, hey, yeah, oh, woo, yeah, I love Tony Stewart. Where to go? That tells you how long ago that was.
Yeah.
But so I'm not really a NASCAR guy. However, that move that motherfucker pulled off was video game-esque. Like, it was something you'd see in your simulation races that you do. Something that you might do yourself.
Well, here's the funny part about that whole move is in NASCAR, there's no rule saying that he cannot do that.
No, but there will be this weekend.
But in iRacing, it's actually banned. Like, so if you're caught wall riding,
you can't run the wall.
You cannot run the wall. and the other racers that are racing against you can file a protest against you, and have iRacing look at it, and just like real life, you get suspended or.
NASCAR's going to take a page out of that fucking book this weekend. They're going to say, "Oh wow, that was cool. They got NASCAR a lot of attention. People talking about NASCAR. Banned. Can't do it anymore."
Well, they did come out and say that they're not. It wasn't a rule. There's no rule against it, and they are not changing the rule as of right now. So next year,
well, next season that shit's going to be done.
Yeah.
But for now, for the once in a lifetime chance to do it, I mean, hats off, man. That's a desperate move. You had to get into the top 4 to get to that championship 4 bundle, whatever they're doing now in NASCAR. I have no idea. But a desperate move is like, hey, listen, you got to catch him. It's like, all right, well, fuck it, here we go.
And the funny part about that, you said it was like a video game move. He actually admitted it. He's in his post-race interview. He goes, "I used to do that on my Nintendo GameCube in NASCAR, whatever NASCAR game it was back then, and just run the wall." And I'm like, Jesus Christ!
What's his name again?
It's Ross Chastain.
I knew it was Chastain because I kept on thinking of Brandy Chastain from the girls' soccer team back in the 90s. I don't know why, but yeah. So it was such a move, and the thing I love about it, that from everything else that I've seen, is the clips that have come out of all the spotters from all the other cars
and the drivers
going out being like, "Well, that's the damnedest thing I ever saw," and just like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
just hearing all the different people like, I don't believe what I just saw. That's fucking crazy. It was so unique and such a. Listen, it was a badass moment.
It was. He had no care in the world what would happen to his car, how it would get trashed. I mean, it's obviously junked now, but
no. But here's the thing, and that's the thing that I think it why it's kind of become what it has. Like, people were like, "Wow, what a badass move! How cool!" Everything like that. That's the first time I've seen something in NASCAR that I can relate to a lot of other sports. Is that desperation, Hail Mary, last minute, like, this is it, this is what we got, I have to do this or I'm out. So I'm balls to the wall, no care, no anything like that, just go. And that's what it is. He's like, I can't, if I go full throttle, this thing's gonna fucking dovetail and spin and I'm gonna be fucking gone.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it into the fucking wall, use it as a stabilizer, and just fucking hit the fucking gas. Bang! And shoot out like a fucking rocket. And that's the thing, is nobody else saw it. Denny Hamlin didn't fucking see it.
Yeah, he was probably like, where the fuck did you come from?
And so I mean, God bless him for doing that. God bless him for giving NASCAR something interesting to post in the. Again, I know there are people out there who listen to the show who are NASCAR people. You yourself are a NASCAR person. You do the iRacing,
yes,
in the Stay Tuned Sports truck series. You know what I mean? So it's like, here we are. The show sponsors the truck series. I get it. Like, this is a somewhat NASCAR show too. Me personally, I'm not. So I'm giving the perspective from somebody outside of the NASCAR world.
Yeah,
is that for the last 10 years, NASCAR, because NASCAR hit a boom there for a while. It really did.
Yeah.
And it has been falling off quite a bit for, I would say, the last 10 years. So for there to be something really fun and energetic and positive to come out of that sport was refreshing to see. It was good to see. And I'll tell you what, I mean, it was just a hell of a move. Just a hell of a move. It was fun to see.
And even like actually the other thing too, everybody was wondering, like, he was running so fast. They were like, is that a new lap time? And sure enough, he actually holds the lap time record now it was at Martinsville. For Martinsville. So I figured
it was a short track.
Yeah, it was a short track.
But that's it. Listen, if he didn't set a lap time on that one, I don't know what the fuck was wrong there. Because he fucking, like, that thing was a rocket. Like, he just opened her up and was just, gotta go, and you've already seen, like, the memes are already out there now. You know, it's like, oh, when she says her parents aren't home,
Yes, that one.
you know. So
only
they were already out there.
The only meme I didn't see, and I'm surprised that no one thought about this, and I just thought about this now myself, was how do you not put Back to the Future to that? You know, you got to get up to...
Do the Back to the Future music to that would
Yeah.
have been fucking... Yeah, that's pretty... Hey, if we haven't seen it, let's get it out there. Nobody do it yet.
Yeah,
That's
don't,
ours.
don't do it yet.
Copyright 2022, Stay Tuned Sports Limited. All rights reserved.
Or our lawyers, or our shitbag lawyers in New York may contact you, because
we can afford fucking lawyers. Get
Well-
the fuck out of here.
well, I was doing a segue there.
It'll be me on a voice changer. Be the shitbag lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay, segue to shitbag lawyers.
So, NFL and Pat McAfee, or McAfee,
McAfee,
however,
as they say in England. I don't know why the English call it McAfee. I don't know. It just seems pretty straightforward to be McAfee, but whatever. I don't know. Anyway,
I love his response to the NFL, basically giving him a cease and desist order of not running any NFL graphics in his show.
well, I love it because it's something that we would do.
Yeah.
I love it because it's the same response that it would be the sarcastic fuck you response that we would do, which would be, okay, then we'll talk about the Professional American Football League
Yeah.
on and Monday evening football, and you know, like they had the self-paid fourth grader goofy drawings.
Oh,
as
dude,
the
I
graphics.
was dying when I saw that.
That was fantastic. And here, with all of this, now apparently, I took a peek at his show this afternoon. We're recording this on Thursday. Apparently, it's been resolved.
Okay.
Whatever the issue was, apparently NFL Films went to go and talk to NFL properties and whatever, and so it's all been ironed out. But what I found out was that McAfee, in order to get the footage rights to like just play the clips
Okay.
on his show, paid north of $4 million
Yeah.
this year just for that, just for the ability to play the clips and to do things like that. You know, $4 million, and they got in the middle of the season a cease and desist from somebody at NFL Properties or whatever that said, no, you can't use the logos on your graphics. You can do whatever. That's not part of the NFL Films package. This is something else, and you didn't pay for that, so you can't use the logo. Like, listen. I think his response was a measured, calm response, because my response might have been a little bit.
Oh god,
harsher.
yeah. I mean, you could see the pissed offness and the anger in him, but to keep that even keel, for the show, the hat's off to him.
Listen, if I'm spending $4 million, I better be able. I better be able to have the logos fuck each other. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, like, are you kidding me?
That's what I just don't understand about this, is because, so obviously he's paying before he's able to use any of these clips. So
Right, he's just paying for the right to play the clips whenever they happen.
yeah,
Right,
So who in their right mind says, nope, you can't do that, even though your contract said, because I'm sure it's a contract.
Well, no, they didn't tell him that they couldn't play the clips. It's not the clips that's the problem.
Oh, the graphics.
It's they said they couldn't use the logos in any graphics they did. Like, if they were doing, like, like they would show, like, the bets and what the odds are and stuff like that, or who the matchups are going to be.
Yeah.
Or something like that. They'd have like tonight, they'd have the Eagles logo on one side and the Texans logo on the other. They told them you can't use those logos.
Oh, okay.
They said it was a logo issue. That's what I mean. So he was like, I paid $4 million to NFL Films to use their footage and everything like that, and now I got NFL Properties lawyer coming to me, giving me a C&D, telling me that I can't use the logos in any of the graphics that we use. So I can use that. So I can show the footage, but I can't use the graphics to show like who the matchup was for.
Yeah.
And then of course he was funny. He was like, well, we can't pause the footage then, because if you pause the footage, then it's kind of a graphic. And if you pause on a logo, oh, they got a logo there. Oh, you got to take it off the screen. Like, yeah, he showed the absurdity of what they were trying to do. And that's what I mean. I'm glad that whatever was, and apparently it was just like it got one overzealous lawyer there who was just like, oh, there's something, they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. It's like, that's not how you build a relationship.
Yeah.
And do things with somebody who, especially like, kind of like the show, I guess, but like Pat McAfee's show is based a lot around football, a lot around the NFL.
Yeah.
In general. And like he even said, he's like, he thinks like, you know, they do a good job. You know, that they do good for the league. They try to pump the league up. They try to make the league, you know, they try to, you know, he feels like they do good for the league.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue that. You know, they talk about it a lot. I mean, it's basically a football show all year round. Even when there's nothing going on, they're trying to talk football, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a football show. And so to kind of do that and get to that level of pettiness for like, what was the reason? Like, I didn't understand that. And again, it's not like he was making merchandise. Like, listen, if he was putting logos on shirts or something, then fine, go after him. You know, like that's you can't do that. I understand that as somebody who does graphics and does try to do merchandising and do things like that. Yeah, you can't do that. But like, that's not what he was doing.
And the thing, like, you know, like you said too, you know, he's not making money off this. Most people that, or off the logos, I mean, obviously he's making money off of it, off the show. Most people that listen to his show aren't tuning in because he has cool logos or cool graphics. It's probably, you know, you coming to me, hey, you should give this podcast a listen to, and then, you know, okay, I'll tune in, and then it just snowballs like that.
I'm gonna tell you something. Like, a lot of people feel like since he's moved into the new place that he has there, the FanDuel Thunderdome, whatever.
Yeah.
And since they've gotten like a lot shinier toys and better graphics and stuff like that, people don't like it as much.
Really?
People are kind of like, you know, I miss the old studio that was all kind of tiny and cramped, and how they used to do the show like that. Like, people aren't big into the Thunderdome or how like new and shiny some of the things have gotten. So like, even from that aspect, it's like you have some people who like, yeah, he's got the footage rights, and yeah, he's able to use the graphics now that whatever has been handled off. But other people were like, yeah, it's okay. But here's the thing about it, is that he was using the graphics, he was using the logos and stuff for like matchup graphics and betting graphics and stuff like that for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
So why now come after? Is it only because now he's on their radar? Like, it was a weird situation. It was just a very weird situation.
And you said it got settled?
From what I understand, from what I heard on today's program there with Mr. McAfee, it appears that whatever the issue was has gotten handled between him and NFL properties. I think the people from NFL Films helped with that as well, and just like kind of smoothed out whatever.
I wonder if him dropping the C word yesterday, saying, you know, in the off season maybe we'll go talk about CTE, and
I did notice that. Well, that was the other thing, is like, because he was talking about all the good they did for the NFL.
Yeah.
How, like, you know, we try to do all this stuff. I was like, hey, maybe we'll start talking about stuff. You know, maybe we'll start talking about concussions. Maybe we'll start talking about CT. Maybe we'll start talking about something else. Maybe we'll start talking about Dan Snyder. Maybe we'll start talking about something he's got there. Huh? What if we start doing that? And Dan Snyder's going to be in the news a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir, because listen, if you're a Washington football team of Redskin Commanders fan, this has got to be now, again. You have to be like, if you are a fan, like, you have to be wary, because first of all, rule 1, never trust Dan Snyder.
Yeah, or the wife.
So you don't know, but there's got to be a glimmer. There's got to, like, you can't go full in yet.
Yeah,
but you have to allow that cold, frozen stone heart that you have to just have a slight glimmer, just a glimmer, a gleam, if you will, of hope. I think Dan Snyder's going to be selling that team.
I think this one is it. I think that this is the time he's going to sell the team, because
there's a reason why I think it is.
Well,
because a lot of people are like, well, he says he's selling, but you know, he could just be selling a minority portion of the team, or he might be doing
the government's
like that,
going after him now too.
or do with that. And that might be, but I think there's a couple of reasons why that won't be. Number one, who wants to buy a minority stake in that fucking dumpster fire? Nobody's going to want to do that. Nobody's going to want to be a part owner of that and not also have any say. Nobody wants to have the stink of Dan Snyder on them. Like, it's just so I don't think, even if he wanted to sell just a minority stake in the team, that he'd be able to. Number two is obviously the fact that you now have the federal government coming in and looking for quote unquote financial improprieties.
And I think that's why he will sell.
Because that's the other thing is, like, when it came out that he was cooking the books for against the NFL, which is again another reason why. Like, here's the thing: everybody always makes a joke. Oh, he can have a sexual harassment workplace, and he can be sexist, and he can be misogynistic, and he can have a terrible workplace environment. But it's only when the money's involved that the NFL go after him, and it's like, yes,
yeah.
Rule one of any business: don't fuck with the money.
Yeah.
And you can forgive a lot of things in this world, in the business world, in the regular world, whatever the case is. You can forgive a lot. Whether your personal morality can forgive it or not, that's up to each individual. But like business-wise, you can forgive a lot. But the one thing you don't forgive is don't fuck with the money.
Yeah.
And so he had two different books, basically fucking over the other NFL owners in the revenue sharing, trying to get more money from the revenue sharing. Well, once that came out and was reported, I don't know if it's been tacitly proven yet or not, but the rumors are out there. Well, it's like, well, if he's cooking books for that, maybe he's cooking books on his taxes, on his on whatever other federal money he owes or doing anything like that. Now, granted, me being who I am, taxation is theft. I don't like it. Blah blah blah. That's a whole different political issue that we won't get into here. However, facts are what they are, and right now, you have to live in reality. You can't live in what you would want to live in. And in this world, there are federal taxes you got to fucking pay. And if Dan Snyder's cooking the books on that, and he's got the federal government on him now, well, listen, he might need a couple $1 billion in his pocket to help out with that. So I think that's probably going to be a couple things. I think his kids, at the end of it, like, because I know his plan the whole time was that he wanted to hand the franchise off to his children.
Okay.
But at this point, if I'm his kids, I'm like, I don't fucking want it.
Yeah.
Like, you have cumbubble fucked. That's a word I don't know.
I was going to say, was that an actual word?
But you have absolutely kerfluffled this entire fucking thing to the point where being associated with Washington football team Redskin Commanders and having the last name of Snyder is completely like there's such a stigma. It's like Hitler's not to make a comparison to Hitler, but like all of Hitler's family changed their fucking last name. There's a reason why, because you could never get rid of that stink. In the NFL circles, Dan Snyder is football Hitler.
Yeah,
I will go out there and say that. Dan Snyder, football Hitler, because he's so toxic, he's so bad that you can't share the name with him and be in that football circle without instantly going, "Oh, Dan Snyder, ooh, boy, yeah," like it carries that weight to it. So I think there's a lot of so I think the kids at this point are saying, "Hey, listen, don't want the team. I could do it a couple $1 billion though, Dad." And let's be fair, I almost called them just Redskins outright. Washington, the franchise there is gonna fetch a good, even with it being Dan Snyder, that franchise, for just being where it is, the location it is, what it can be worth, is gonna fetch, I would say, somewhere between $5 to $7 billion.
See, that's the thing, though. Any other type of situation, the buyer will probably pay more than he or she should have. Do you think Dan Snyder's going to take a loss here?
No. Well, first of all, he can't get a loss. He bought that team for $700 million in 98, 99?
Yeah, but then,
he's over whatever he gets, as long as whatever he gets is above $700 million, which it will be, he's made a profit in the last 25 years. So he's good with that. I mean, he's going to get a very good return on investment. Here's the other thing you have to remember, too. When you're buying that team, you're buying them, you're buying the land around FedEx Field and FedEx Field itself, which is crumbling and it's going to be gone anyway. But here's the other thing too, is you're buying their facility out in Ashburn.
Okay.
And I think this is another reason why he's selling, is you're going to be able to immediately get a stadium deal done in DC proper. Because that is honestly, from what I've heard, from what's been coming out, is like all the public officials, everybody else that said, like, because the Redskins are looking, Redskins again, geez, sorry. The Washington football team of Redskin Commanders, there we go. That they have been looking to build a stadium there in DC proper at like the old RFK site. They want to knock that down, build a new stadium there, something that could bring a Super Bowl to DC, something like that.
Yeah.
But every public official, everybody who's been associated with the site is saying that'll never happen as long as Dan Snyder is part of that. And I think he's finally getting that. I think that's finally getting through to Dan, is like, you're never going to be able to build a new stadium. You're never going to be able to, like, this franchise cannot move forward with you in charge. You will never get another stadium built. You will never get anything else done. And at that point, it's like, what, do you just stay in a crumbling FedEx Field?
Yeah, and then
Well, it's just to be there. And granted, he's an obstinate son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, like, he sees that. He sees the federal government coming after him. He probably sees his kids telling him, fuck it, we don't want the team, just give us the money. He's got the NFL owners telling him, like, listen, we're getting ready to vote you out. We got, like, when you have, Jim Irsay, who has his own problems and demons that he's been dealing with, coming after you and saying, listen, you can post whatever you want about me, and you can have these blackmail things. And he said, where it came out that Dan Snyder has dirt on all the NFL owners and stuff. And it's getting to the point where the NFL owners are saying, listen, we don't care, release it, because at this point you're costing all of us money. You're costing us so much, and not just money, but in public relations, in image, in everything. You're costing us. I think that's why. And the rumors have already started about Bezos jumping in and grabbing a team.
Speaking of him,
Bezos might get it. There was the one guy I know, he wanted to be he wanted to own the Broncos, but he knew, since it was like an auction to buy the Broncos, he's like, if he could have bought the Broncos for, I forget his name, I don't know why I remember his name now. He was hoping to become the first African American NFL owner.
Oh, okay.
And he said if he could have bought the Broncos for $5 million outright, he would have done it. But because he knew it was an auction, he said, like, if he would have done 5, the Waltons would have done 5-1. If he would have went 5-2, they would have went 5. Like, the Waltons were always going to be able to outbid him. So he said he didn't even try to do it. That's why the Waltons were able to get the Broncos for, I think, $4.4 billion. So I think he's got the money and the ability to do that. Then again, like I said, you also have Bezos, who's also apparently trying to see if he can get Jay-Z in on it.
Well, you see, he wants to buy
be a part of it.
He wants to buy the rights to NBA to be on Amazon Prime.
So, well, that's what I mean. Bezos can do all that, and that's fine. I mean, the NBA is, that's...
Well, that's what's funny is, like, is he not watching these Thursday night games and how terrible they are? I mean, NBA games are
but that's
worse
not.
than
But
that.
no, but that's not Bezos' fault. Like, Thursday night games. See, this is the thing that people seem to forget. Thursday night football games have sucked since they started. There's been probably in the 15 to 20 years that Thursday night football's been going on, 5, 7 good Thursday night football games.
Yeah, they're not
like,
very
Thursday
memorable.
night football has always sucked. It's always been terrible. It's never been good. And so the fact that, we have Thursday night football, these games suck, fucking Bezos. It's like, no, the games suck. Bezos. Here's the thing, Jeff had to have known that anyway. Like, listen, you're buying Thursday night football. It's unflexible because it is Thursday night football, so you can't get games in and out there. There has to be one team that plays in there all the time because of fairness and all that kind of stuff, and the same reason you can't flex. So whatever, the schedulers basically have to guess on what might be good matchups. And I don't know why they thought the Eagles and Texans would be good matchup, even if the Eagles weren't as good this year as anybody thought they were going to be. Like, they were still going to be better than the fucking Texans.
Yeah.
So you look at some things like that, that Colts-Broncos matchup that started off this whole, man, Thursday night sucks. On paper, before the season, looked like a great matchup.
It did.
And then we got that. So being that what that may, everything else, you got Bezos. I think is in the mix. Obviously, he wants to get into the NFL action. He's already owns the NFL rights. Owning an NFL team would be tip of the cap too. Plus, whoever owns the team is probably going to be able to change the name, which is fantastic to get that last little bit of Snyder stink off them.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bit. Keep the color scheme. The burgundy and gold is fucking beautiful. It's a classic scheme. I love it. But you can't be the commander. Get rid of the fucking commanders. Listen, go what it should have been in the first place, which is Red Wolves. Just go with that. That's perfect. Keep it nice. Keep it simple, and you'll be able to do that. So I think there's a lot. There's hope and there's good things coming on the horizon. I think for Washington and their fan base for the first time in 25 years. And like you said, like again, this could be an okie doke from Dan, but I don't see it with everything else that's surrounding him. Like I said, with the NFL owners breathing down his neck, looking to get him out, the federal government investigating him, his kids probably most likely not wanting the team, and with all the local officials in DC and the DC area refusing to work with him. They've even come out and said as much, saying like, listen, once Washington gets a new owner, they will instantly do a stadium deal.
That's bad.
Like that's right there. So it's already been, laid out there. It's laid bare.
Yeah.
We will work with anybody other than Dan Snyder.
So one last question, then we'll move on. Do you think one of the owners leaked the cook in the books to the government, and that's what kind of made them?
No, because when that came out a while ago. That came out, I think, with the Gruden stuff.
Oh, okay.
With the Gruden email and everything like that, and that they used the Gruden email to kind of cover up some of the other stuff that was coming out. And one of the leaks that came out was that Washington had 2 sets of books.
Oh, okay.
And that was kind of almost forgotten in that time because of all the stuff that happened with Gruden, and then Dan Snyder does all his other stuff that he does. Like, that's the thing. He seems to want to cover up one pile of shit with another pile of shit to distract from that one pile of shit. But the one pile of shit is just a bigger pile of shit.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, that kind of got lost, I think, too, was the fact that, he got caught cooking the fucking books in the NFL, or supposedly, allegedly, as it was leaked out that he had 2 sets of books there. And I think that coming out, whether it was just somebody from inside I think it was somebody from inside the organization.
Okay.
That leaked that out to, I think it was the Washington Post, which, by the way, is owned by Jeff Bezos.
Well, there you go. There's your leak.
I was going to say, all of a sudden it starts making a lot more sense. But, well, here's the other thing. I don't even, like, we said, Bezos is putting it out there to sabotage Dan Snyder. Listen, Dan Snyder sabotaged Dan Snyder.
Yeah. Let's be honest here.
This is a Vince McMahon, Brett screwed Brett. Yeah, Dan Snyder screwed Dan Snyder. Let's be serious here. But I think that's what's, by this time next year, Dan Snyder's not going to be the owner of the football team of Redskin Commanders. He's not going to be the owner.
Because obviously a sale is going to take some time to get going, but I could see him doing a Vince McMahon, stepping down and just appointing someone to
his wife technically runs the team.
Okay. Oh, the one that called the team the Redskins.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they'll be left in good hands.
Listen, it's hard to It's hard to get that idea. Listen, I'm 41 years old. They've been the Redskins for 39 years of my life. That's not something you just turn off.
Yeah.
And not to mention that their logo was by far superior. It was such a good logo.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. Listen, the name. If you want to argue that the name's offensive, fine. You can make that argument and do whatever. That's fine. I'm not going to sit here and start that fucking debate again. But to sit here and say that logo was fucking offensive, suck the fattest part of my dick. That logo was a fucking amazing logo. Was not offensive to any sensibility whatsoever, was designed by Native Americans.
I was going to say that too.
So, like, it's not even like it was some white dude sitting there being like, I'm going to draw an Indian head. Woo-wee, boy, this is going to be a good logo. Like, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So, like, you can say whatever you want about the name. That's what I think I said this on last week's show or something like that. What I would have done simply was just take the name away, call them the Americans, have them be the Washington Americans, keep everything else the same, logo, color scheme, all that stuff. I think that would have worked so much better, and kept, just a great identity and a great look. The uniform was great. The logo was great. And speaking about our boy Pat McAfee a little bit earlier, like he said, because Washington was in Indianapolis this past weekend, and he goes to the games. He apparently has a suite there. He said there were a lot of Washington fans there. Not very much Commanders merchandise walking around that stadium. There's still a lot of, HTTR. If you a lot of the old logo, a lot of the old name.
Well, they're trying to get rid of it, so get a loss on it.
And that's the other thing too. So you have they changed their name to the Commanders, and nobody's buying it. Like nobody it's because it's a bad name.
Yeah,
it's a bad name. It's a bad identity. It's bad. The fact that people were saying they should have just stuck with football team instead of just being like the Washington Commanders, like that's telling. That tells you something. That people would rather you just be basically the Washington football team than to have an identity or have a nickname or have merchandise or have a logo that's worthwhile. They'd rather you just be blank.
Yeah.
Here come the Washington Blanks. Now at the time, hey, listen, I wouldn't mind if they were Washington Football Club, if they were, DCFC, whatever they wanted to be.
Okay.
Washington Football Club, that I wouldn't argue against it. If you could put a good logo on there, that's fine. That's the problem, is that they became the Commanders and have a shitty logo still. I like their helmet. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I like the switch up of the jersey and the.
I like the helmet. I don't like the jerseys.
No?
And the pants don't have any fucking stripes. You gotta get some stripes on them motherfuckers.
Let me try. Well, not try, but let's switch it up here for a second. And now, obviously, me and you hate the Cowboys. Did you see Zeke Elliott release the Thanksgiving helmet?
Well, I knew the throwbacks were coming for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
What do you think about the helmet? Do you like it? No.
I always like the white helmet. They've used it before.
Oh, I thought this was a new.
No, before the one helmet rule came in. I think it was about 10 years ago. Yeah, the Cowboys did this regular on Thanksgiving. They wore the white helmets.
Oh, okay.
They wore the throwback uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw the picture and I was like, God, I fucking hate you, but it's kind of a nice helmet.
So this year, since the one shell rule was lifted this year, which is why you're seeing all the other teams use different helmets now.
Yeah.
For throwbacks and stuff like that. They were able to do that, and they have another one coming out. Their icy whites.
Okay.
Are going to come out. I think they're going to play in L.A. I think they're playing the Rams or something later on this year, where they're going to have. It's going to be more like the current star and helmet, but it's just going to be white.
Oh, okay.
So, whatever that is. Here's the thing I want to say from that photo, and I've seen a couple of them pop up here. Different teams wearing them, different players wearing them. What do you think of that style helmet that Zeke and some of the other players have been wearing?
That's the other thing too. I know they design them for safety, for the players and stuff like that. It just seems like, to me, the more the grooves that are in these helmets, like the notches, I don't understand how that helps relieve some of the pressure when they get hit, in the head.
I think so. Here's the thing. I think some of it is clearly just marketing and branding.
Yeah.
It's to say, oh, this is a Rydell Speed Flex, or this is a Shut, or this is, whatever, a Vapor X, or whatever, fucking helmet they got going on. the Vikis, the Viki, whatever the fucking is. This new, I forget the name of what the one he has that Zeke is wearing now, and a couple of other players are wearing now. I think Mike Parsons might have one too, or Diggs. I forget which one. There's somebody else on the Cowboy that wear it. I've seen people say oh, it looks like a fucking race car helmet. It doesn't like anything like that. The one thing I kind of like about it is that it actually, if you take away the fucking groove and vents part of it, which again I think me and you are in agreement, like not a fan of that. It kind of has an old school kind of look in the fact that the face mask is only on the lower part. Like it almost has the old school 2-bar face mask look.
Yeah.
Like because the face mask
I didn't think about
into
that.
the helmet, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of dig that. I think it's unique. I think it looks a lot better when you have the contrasting helmet color and face mask color. It looks like you see it a little bit better, and it's like, oh, that's all right. Like I kind of enjoy that. I just, with every, like if you could, with a lot of these helmets with all the fucking weird vents and divots and shit they have in there, which to me I think makes it almost more dangerous. That's where you can catch your helmet on something and get either a twist or get something like that. Like I don't understand that. But like if you could somehow get put the shell around the vents so where it's a bit, because I've seen the other helmets too. Like a lot of the helmets now, they're made to absorb that impact. Yeah. It's not just a straight hard shell. It's almost like think of like a car crumple zone. Yeah. Like that's how a lot of these helmets are made now. So I get it, but there's got to be a way like you can get like a thin, very thin, so it doesn't compromise the impact benefits of the helmet, but where you can cover up the weird grooves and stuff. Make sure obviously you still have to have vents and everything for the head. Yeah. But nothing like where it's egregious where half the helmet's missing. Yeah. And it looks like you put it together with cardboard or something like that. Like if you can just do that and give the helmet, like make it look like a fucking helmet. I again, and I'm speaking from an aesthetic standpoint. I'm a uniform nerd. I'm a logo nerd. It's one of the things I get really nerdy about. It's like one of the reasons I hate a lot of the NFL now is the players that wear the fucking the undershirt coming out of their fucking jerseys, and they don't wear the socks properly. And I'll sit there on Sunday. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? Oh, you're a fucking old white person. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Fine, whatever. I'm just, from an aesthetic point, it looks like ass. Yeah. Like, let's just fucking agree with that. You can sit there and say, oh, it's cool. It's what the cool kids are doing. You're just a dumb old white. Whatever. Fine, I'm a dumb old white, but I'm a dumb old white who likes uniforms to look fucking uniform.
That's the thing. It's a uniform. It's not, play clothes, that you would go out and get, roll around in the mud.
Why do the NFL finding these players for not having their socks right? Well, because they don't have their fucking socks right. They look like ass. You look like fucking, you look stupid. So, but that's a different argument for a different day. But that's the thing. I like the uniforms to look like they're supposed to look, and it comes to with the helmets too. Like the whole, the vents on these helmets have gotten fucking insane. Yeah. Like you have to cut logos off. You have to cut the stripes. You have to cut all these different things. Like
that's the reason why I don't like it.
You got to try to either fit it on there somewhere. So some of them, the logos like up near the fucking forehead. And like, what the fuck are we even doing? Like it's like you have to like. And again, that's what makes me think like these helmet designers, they're not putting these things in there. None of these vents that you see are for safety or for anything like that. None of these slits are like, oh, well, this slit here is going to allow, no, it's not. You know what you want to do? Fine. If you want to have that, if you want to have all those little parts and little things, if all those little parts and shit like that are needed for it to, absorb an impact or flex, which I don't think that's the case, but even if it is, fine. Then do what people do with like the fucking cars and shit. Put like a vinyl fucking cover on. Yeah. Of at least what it is. So you can cover it up. So it doesn't impede the impact resistance of the helmet. It doesn't reduce any safety portions of it. But then it just looks like a cohesive fucking helmet. But yes, no, the Cowboys throwbacks do look nice. They're going to look even better when the Giants beat them on Thanksgiving.
Well, we'll see.
Well, we'll hope so. Hey, listen. Nobody's still liking the Giants, which is fine by me. I'm very disappointed that we didn't do anything for the trade deadline, but
yeah, I mean, me and you were texting back and forth about the trade deadline, and when you traded the young receiver Tooney or
Kadarius Thomas.
You said that you were hoping that this might be a sign to bring another receiver in. And
thought we'd get maybe DJ Moore. Then it started to look like maybe we'd get Brandon Cooks from the Texans, who he looks like he thought he was getting traded too. Because he's like, I'm tired of covering for all these liars and cheats. You can't take advantage of my niceness. Don't mistake my niceness for weakness. And he's not playing tonight. He's out. He's not playing tonight for quote unquote personal reasons, which makes me lead to believe like he was told, listen, Brandon, we're gonna get you out of here. We'll trade you. Don't worry about it. And then he didn't get traded. He's like, fuck this. I'm done. That's what I was wondering, because all I saw was that he's not playing. I think I saw it yesterday. I think I saw it yesterday that he's not playing. I'm thinking, okay, is he hurt, or this was like an hour or so after his tweet, and so it's personal reasons. Yeah, what's the rule? It's listed as ankle and personal reasons.
What's the rule on that? So what? Well, at least the old way, not this hold in or whatever we call it nowadays. So if a player had didn't like how he's getting paid, they would sit out, and for it to count as a full season. It used to be they had us come back week 13 or whatever it is. They had to play a certain amount of games. Can Brandon Cooks sit out the rest of the year and get his year counted?
It depends on how they count this being out. Like, is this because he's on the injury report as ankle? He's listed as being out for ankle and personal reasons. So those are the two reasons that are given. Now, if that's the case, then if he's out for an ankle, he's out for an ankle.
So that would count
personal
as
reasons
a game.
can be part of it, but he's also out for ankle.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can put that as a holdout or and with the CBA you can't really do that now anyway.
Yeah.
So it's going to be listed as that. Now again, we'll see where this goes, what the fallout of this is. If he could, if he just does this because he's like, fuck this, and he's just upset for this one, he's like, I'm not. It could be a couple things, like he thought he was going to trade it, didn't get traded. It's a short week. It's a Thursday. He was just like, I'm not doing it. Fuck it. And then he'll come back next week, and I'll be like, whatever. I'll play it out. I'll play my contract, and then get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Next year, whatever the case is. But I'm just like, I should listen. It was hopeful thinking anyway, because the Giants' cap is a fucking mess because of Gettleman. So it was a hope and a prayer that the Giants would trade to get somebody or do something,
Yeah.
But I was hoping that we'd get something to help our wide receiver core, because everybody is either hurt or gone. And I love Shepard, man, and he does what he can, but he drops a lot of fucking balls.
Yeah.
And Sills is doing better, and I like that one kid we got. I think he's number 17, Wandale. Is it Wandale Jefferson? I forget what his name is, but he's got a high motor, high energy. He's out there. He's just snagging balls whenever they throw it to him. It's like he understands he's making the most of an opportunity here. So I love that kid. But like, the Giants need wide receiver help. We don't have a wide receiver one. We don't.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that there was something we could pull off to get that, because I'm a firm believer in draft capital means nothing. Like, I'm willing to trade away draft picks to get players.
Yeah, but you don't want.
If I can get solid, proven players.
You don't want to overpay though. You don't want to trade a first round draft pick.
No.
No,
you don't want to. No, you treat your draft picks as others see valuable.
Yeah.
Even if I don't see them as valuable, other people see draft picks as, oh, that's great, draft capital. We need more draft picks. That's fine. So I that's the thing. So if I have a 1, I'm not going to throw away a 1 for somebody that's not worth a 1 just because I don't like the picks.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand the value to others of the picks, but I want to get established veteran NFL talent instead of taking a guess and a gamble to see if I can get somebody in the draft.
Yeah.
So I was hoping there was some way we could finagle that finagle the salary cap, do something to make something work. Our general manager, Shine, said that he's got the door open and has had a conversation with Odell Beckham Jr.
That's been around for a couple weeks.
Not sure how I feel about that, but at this point, if he can help in any way and not be a dick, like that's the whole thing.
This would be
if he won a Super Bowl, he understands that his abilities may be diminished. He's not what he was, 5-6 years ago. If he can come in here with that kind of attitude and just be like a veteran presence, that could help.
See, that's the thing. If you think about when he was with the Giants compared to now, if he were to come in now, I mean, he's basically the only wide receiver guy. There's no. I think you had Victor Cruz there towards the end of Victor Cruz's career when Beckham started to get big, right? Cause I kind of remember like a semi bigger name when Beckham got drafted, and I always felt like Beckham was a me guy. And he wanted to be the only guy that got the balls, didn't want to share any of the...
No, he's a wide receiver diva. Everybody knows that. And it's been shown everywhere he went.
And that's why I think it would be
LA
good.
Was different. It seems like once he got to LA, he played his role. He understood that, Cooper Kupp was the guy.
Yeah.
But even so, in that role, he fucking produced. And listen, say what you want about the guy, until he got hurt in the Super Bowl, he was on his way to being the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, my man was doing it. So, like, you look at that, like, did maybe the ring, like, calm him down a bit? Did maybe having that experience
or
give him perspective?
Or just age.
Is he going to be, still a dick? Like, I don't know. So that's why I think a lot of Giants fans are split on this, because it's like, yes, we could use wide receiver help, but do we want Odell Beckham wide receiver help? Like it's a thing. Like I don't know, but right now that seems to be the only way we'd be able to do anything. Now with the trade deadline, come and gone, we didn't make any moves. We have a bye week here. I thought this would have been a time to get somebody in here, give them that extra week to get into the offense, get adjusted, get acclimated, and to kind of figure shit out. Here we are. So it's and the thing that's upsetting is like the Eagles made moves, the Eagles got better, and other teams made moves, got better. The Bills got better. The Dolphins in the AFC obviously got better.
Dolphins got a lot.
Dolphins got a lot better. Dolphins are going all in here.
I think they got a lot better, but Vegas doesn't think so. Their odds to win the Super Bowl stayed the same, and I find that interesting. The only reason I could see maybe why those odds stay the same, and I was listening to ESPN on the way home Tuesday. Is Tua. Can Tua stay healthy? If he goes down, he's 5-0 when he starts the game and finishes the game. Can he stay healthy? I don't like who's the backup. Like it's obviously Bridgewater. So I mean, and
Bridgewater's serviceable. Don't get me wrong.
He is serviceable,
but that team goes as Tua goes.
Yeah,
and this is the thing. A lot of people have been shitting on Tua, since he got into the league. Like the Dolphins had the tank for Tua. They got Tua, and then it was like instant buyer's remorse. Like, we don't fucking want this guy.
Yeah.
And, you had Stephen Ross looking to fucking get rid of him. They were trying to lose games. They wanted to bring in Tom Brady to be a part owner, to also be the quarterback. Like, there was some funky, weird shit happening there in Miami. But at the end of it, that team goes as Tua goes. He is leading that team. And you can see the difference of when Tua's in for the Dolphins and how they play, and when he's not in and how they play. They are a much better team. They are a playoff team with Tua in there. That's the bottom line. You can sit there and throw stats and analytics and do whatever. At the end of the day, the Dolphins are a better team with Tua there.
Yeah.
And so again, they're going to go as he goes. They shored up that defense with Chubb. they just signed an extension to him. He got a 5-year extension as well now.
Buku dollars.
So, what's that?
I said he got buku dollars.
Yes, he did. Very, very buku. Too damn buku. He's set down there. Their defense, obviously, there with that now is that's a huge pick me up. They got the one running back from San Francisco who obviously worked with Mike McDaniels, so he's got him and Mostert there. So he's got like his guys. They know his offense. They know how he runs, so he's going to be able to slip right in there. So they have a great team backfield now. They have two are running things. You have Waddle and Hill, which is fucking incredible as your wide receivers. And now you short up that defensive line, have a great pass rusher on that defense. The Dolphins are making a move here. They're saying, listen, we're going to try to go step for step with the Bills. They may not be the Bills, but they've already beaten the Bills once. And if they can stay close, if the Bills have a stumble once or twice this year and the Dolphins keep on, winning, all of a sudden it makes that division close. And a lot closer than anybody would have thought, because we all thought the Bills were going to run away with it. And they still might, don't get me wrong. But it's like the Dolphins are like, we're going to go for the playoffs. Our mission is playoffs and to advance in playoffs.
Yeah.
And what it does is it almost puts pressure on Buffalo to be like, hey, listen, you can't stumble, because if you fuck up once or twice, the fucking Dolphins are right there.
Yep.
And they're going to be coming for the division, so you can't fuck up. So that's going to be. I mean, the AFC East is all of a sudden very interesting. Hey, listen, if the Jets could ever find a quarterback, they might be well too. But fucking dude, that game Zach Wilson had on Sunday, listen. I'm used to seeing bad quarterback play. I've seen Dave Brown. I've seen Danny Cannell in my days. I've seen
Bobby Brister with the Eagles.
I've seen some bad quarterbacks. We've all seen some bad quarterbacks.
Yeah,
right? We've seen Nathan Peterson for the Bills and for the Patriots and for the Bears and whatever else he's put. He got a chance everywhere for some reason. That guy was fucking terrible. I don't know what Zach Wilson was doing, but it wasn't playing quarterback, and he was just chucking balls up there, like.
And by this point, you should see some type of progression.
He should not have a game like that.
Yeah,
he should not have a game like that. Listen, I understand he had some injuries, both last year and this year. I understand, whatever the case is, but man, you can't be throwing passes like that. You can't do it,
and it's not good when. Now, Grant, I know Elijah Moore, I think it was the receiver from the Jets. We already knew he was already unhappy to be in New York, wanted to be traded and stuff like that.
Right.
Took shots at Zach Wilson. And then even the coach took some jabs at Wilson. So that's not good that multiple teams and coaches, or teammates and coaches, are taking shots at you.
I don't think he took a shot. I don't think Saleh took a shot. I think he was just like, listen, you can't do that. At the end, listen, you can say what you want. We could say, we got to sit here and improve. We got to do all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, you can't make those throws in that situation.
Yeah.
The Jets lost that. Listen, the Jets may have lost that game anyway, but they definitely lost that game because of Zach Wilson. Much like the Giants lost that game in Seattle because of their punt return.
I was wondering what happened in that game, because I didn't watch that game. Forget why. Well, I mean,
that's a 10-point swing that happened because our punt return dropped two punts.
Okay.
2 punts dropped, turnovers. Seattle got a touchdown, and they got and in bad spots too, in bad situations where, like, we get a good long drive, we get a score, we get even if it's a field goal. It's how the Giants have played this year.
Yeah.
But he not only does he make one fuck up, he fucks up again, and in a desperate spot fucks up. And once that happens, Seattle's up double digits, and the game's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't fuck up like that. You cannot drop those balls. So, it is what it is. The Giants go into the bye week. Listen, we're going into the bye week 6-2. So I can't be disappointed. Like, I have to think back to the beginning of this year where I thought, obviously we'd be very much under 500.
Yeah.
Going into the bye week. So the fact that we're 6-2, we're one of the top teams in the NFL. I'll take it. But we should be 7-1. Well, I think we lost that game because of our punt returner. And it's as simple as that.
I think tonight's game with Philly, even though they're playing Houston, I think is a big game for us. Because if we win, we go up 2 games on you and the Cowboys, which we could start maybe separating ourselves a little bit, not to worry. Okay, we're only a game ahead of you guys. We're coming up against Giants. They win, then it goes into the tiebreakers, who's in first and stuff like that. So I think tonight's a big game.
You're playing the fucking Texans.
Listen.
Did you see the fucking point spread?
Yeah, 14.5.
Listen. Whether the Eagles cover or not. And first of all,
it's the NFL.
The Eagles are covering. I'll put that out there right now. The Eagles are going to cover. If you have money, put it on it. If you lose your money, listen, this is for entertainment purposes only. But so you can't come sue me. So suck my dick. But the Eagles are going to cover. The Eagles are covering that. Like, Houston is not a good team. And Philadelphia is not only good, they're fucking dynamic.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is dynamic. A.J. Brown is dynamic. And that's always forgetting that you have the fucking Alabama wide receiver there, too, who I can't remember his name.
Devontae Smith.
What's that?
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. There you go. See? Everybody forgot about him.
Not me.
Because of everybody else.
Yeah.
And that defense is fucking buzzing. Like, come on. Like, you're not losing this game.
I just want to say one thing, since you said about our defense, if you guys listened to the show last week, we talked about the Robert Quinn trade and how King thought it was a very good trade for us. I was skeptical. Going into this game, I saw, again, we're not big stat people, but Robert Quinn led the league in getting blocked by double teams, which meant to me was like, sweet, that means that's going to open up Jordan Davis, our rookie D tackle, who gets...
He's out tonight.
Well, I know, that's what I was leading to. I was like, yes,
okay.
Finally he could break through this, and he was manhandling the center or the guard, whoever it was, and here high ankle sprain, out 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like, son of a fucking bitch.
Yeah, but now getting Quinn makes more sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
And it's good, and it shores you up, and then when Davis comes back, I mean, that just makes you that much better. That's what I mean. It's like the Eagles are not going to miss a step.
Yeah.
The Eagles, again, and people want to complain about there being a soft schedule. Listen, you do have a soft schedule. Don't get me wrong. It is what it is. But you can only play
looking at that
you.
stuff.
And at the end of the day, that's maybe that's why the Eagles are still ranked 3rd in my power rankings or not. But I don't think that is. I think it's just.
Which is bullshit, but go ahead.
It is not bullshit. It is not bullshit.
we will get to it in a second here, your power rankings for this week. But, you just said about soft schedule. I don't think any team or any person could look at a team and say, well, they got the softest schedule. Maybe before week 1 and maybe after week 17 or 18, whenever the season's over, you could look at that. Because last week we had before the last week's game, we had like the 20th easiest schedule. And now this week we got the 12th hardest schedule. It can't go like that. Like, you gotta have a big jump like that. It's either you have the easiest schedule from week 1 and then, go throughout the season. Well, they start off with the easiest schedule. It's bullshit. I'm tired of listening to strength of schedule. Should be only allowed in college football.
It shouldn't even be allowed there.
All right,
college football needs to be reorganized. 2 conferences, put all the teams in there, whatever it's going to be. 20 teams in the Big Ten, 20 teams in the SEC. Let them battle it out. The rest, though, listen, we don't. As much as everybody wants to sit there and say like we give a shit about those smaller schools and everything, we don't. Yeah. We don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit about SMU. Nobody gives a shit about Fresno State. Nobody gives a shit about Boise State. Nobody gives a shit about Oregon State. Nobody cares.
That's why I think they should sign all the NCAA mascots to WWE and do a battle royale. Last one standing wins the championship for the school. I think Triple H would get on board with that.
I would love to be in your brain to follow whatever fucking train of thought you have. 'Cause I don't know where the fuck we got that from, but I mean, whatever. Hey, man, go with it.
And I don't do drugs, people. Just drink.
No, that's me. I'm the drug baby.
All right, let's go with your week 9. Week 9.
Yeah, we're week 9 here now. So I'll just run through these real quick, going from the bottom to the top, just like my love life. We start with at 12, falling 5 spots. You got the Jets. I was debating about whether or not I wanted to put the Jets or Bengals there, but the Bengals getting blown the fuck out.
Yeah.
Kind of changed my mind on that one. The Jets didn't play well either. We just talked about how Zach Wilson sucks. But the thing with the NFL this year is who the fuck do you put in these spots? Like, I don't even know. Like,
it's
who's
just a
good?
weird year.
I don't know. Plus, the Jets have one more win. They are 5-3, so I put them. At 11, I put a resurgent, and man, they look fucking dangerous right now, the San Francisco 49ers. They're only at 11, and I think they're only going to be 11 for this 1 week because I think they're going to be shooting up these rankings very shortly. They look fucking dangerous, especially Christian McCaffrey. He's got a passing, rushing, and throwing touchdown. That's just going to make that team really, really difficult to play. They have the defense as well. Once they iron that out, the second half of the season is probably going to be a Niners season for that NFC West. At 10, we talked about them a little bit, the Dolphins. As long as Tua stays healthy, the Dolphins are going to be all right. They're 5-3. They'll be okay. And they're making moves. Like I said, they made the moves on defense. They got Chubb there. The Dolphins are going to be good. At 9, I have the Ravens at 5-3. I can't find it in myself to put them up higher. I know a lot of people have them higher in their power rankings. I don't trust them. I don't trust the Ravens.
Yeah,
they
I
have
agree.
to show me more before I can trust them on it. I just, and again, they beat, but kind of almost barely beat a very bad Buccaneers team and a very gaunt, divorced-looking Tom Brady, who is all of a sudden looking all of 45.
Yeah.
So I can't. I just can't put them up there. They're at 5-3. At 8, down 3 spots with their loss against the Seahawks is the Giants. Listen, like I said, I think the punt returner was the reason why the Giants lost that game. But at the end of the day, they lost, and they lost by double digits. It is what it is. You lose, you get dropped. Giants are at 8. The Titans, the team that the Giants beat in week 1, they are up to 7. They have shaken off whatever rust they had. They are fucking plowing through people. Derrick Henry, again, making the Texans look silly. I think he's got like 6 or 8 games straight with over 200 yards against them.
Yeah.
Something really incredibly stupid. Titans are 5-2. In the way that AFC South is, you might as well just give them the division now. At 6, the team everybody thought was going to be absolute ass this year, but right now they are atop the NFC West. They're going to have to try to hold off those 49ers who I said look dynamic, but for right now, you got to put them up there. Number 6, the Seattle Seahawks at 5-3. They are up 6 spots from their number 12 spot I had them at last week. They beat the Giants, who were on quite the roll. Listen, at some point you got to stop thinking how you were in the preseason with these teams, like with the Seahawks, like with the Giants, and realize that these teams are for real and that they're there. And the Seahawks are going to be there until the end. Until the end of the season, they're going to be in that division race. At number 5, I hate to do it, but there they are, the Dallas Cowboys. You can't argue it. They're a good team. I don't trust Dak so much.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you saw what happened. Zeke didn't play. They decided to run Pollard instead of Zeke. And see what happens when you do a consistent running the ball game plan with the Cowboys. I mean, granted, they were playing the Bears, but they blew them the fuck out. Like, it wasn't even close. And again, the Cowboys look very real at this point. They're up 3 spots. Still number 5 at a record of 6-2. 6-1. They're running the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings. That's another surprise team. As long as you keep them away from prime time, it's going to be hard to stop the Vikings.
And picked up
and
a
they
good
picked
tight
up
end.
Hawkinson from in division rival.
They definitely have some weapons.
Let's be honest. The Lions are always going to be the Lions.
Yeah.
They're just that boggles my mind why they would do that. But then it doesn't, because they're the fucking Lions. So the Vikings are at number 4. At number 3, the leaders of the NFC East and the only undefeated team in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the top 4 here didn't change at all. Like I said, you have the Vikings at 4. You have the Eagles at 3. They're only 3. And this is where I was going to talk to you. My fellow Eagles fan, not fellow Eagles fan, but you are my brother.
Yeah.
And you happen to be an Eagles fan. I look at it from an eyeball perspective. I talked to my other brother, Russell, about this because he agrees more with you. I said, you put them on a neutral field, who you picking? You put the Eagles, Bills, and Eagles, Chiefs. Who you got winning those games? He says the Eagles would beat the Chiefs. I still have a hard time thinking that. It's the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. And that's how I try to judge that. And that's the only reason I have the Eagles at 3. Is that I think if you put the Eagles and the Chiefs on a neutral field, the Chiefs win a majority of those good games.
See, I think the Eagles would beat the Chiefs. And I almost said single-handedly, but it won't be a 3-point game. I think they could beat them by 7-10 points. Put them up against the Bills. I think that would be a hell of a game. I think that would be.
You think the Eagles beat the Chiefs by possibly double digits or at least 2 scores? Wow.
Yes. Just because of.
Listen, I can see if you wanted to say maybe the Eagles beat the Chiefs in some capacity, but I can't see that.
I think the offense.
I can't.
I think the offense.
And again,
could
any
go,
given Sunday, sure, that I think the Eagles can beat the Chiefs, but I think.
See, I think the Eagles' offense could go toe for toe with them, and I think our defense is good enough to win 2 or 3 drives. Like
Chiefs.
Which then would give the Eagles the chance
who
to get
knows?
those 10 points. But I
maybe we'll see at the end of the season.
Yeah,
if that'll come to fruition. But first, the Chiefs are going to have to get through the number 1 team. Obviously, we talked about them. The Chiefs were number 2 at 5-2. Like I said, they're at number 2 simply because I think they beat the Eagles on a neutral field. Number 1, I think it's clear. Even to the undefeated Eagles, the 6-1 Buffalo Bills are the class of the NFL right now. And until they show that they're not,
class
they
of
are.
the NFL. But I mean,
they are the class.
No,
of the
they're
NFL.
not.
Yes, the Bills are the class of the NFL.
I'll agree to this. They're Class A1, and we're Class A2.
Listen, class gets no mention with Philadelphia ever. Philadelphia is never the class of fucking anything.
No, class was the pictures of Gritty I sent to you from their Halloween game
with his 80s flash dance.
Yeah,
get up with the fluorescence. Yeah,
but, dude, it not to switch subjects. It was so bad. Lennon, my dog, was up on the couch laying with me, relaxing, and he picked his head up, looked at the TV, and then just buried his head underneath the blanket. It was perfect
too bright.
timing.
It was too bright. Gritty, listen, Gritty's hard to take. Gritty is a lot like anything from Philadelphia. It's okay in doses, but you don't want to be there too long.
Yeah,
because you never know what you're going to catch. But yeah, there you go. There's my top 12.
Let me ask you this. So I know you said, other than obviously, I'm always gonna have issues with you with the Eagles. You always put them at 3. I think you're just trolling me by this point.
No. And here's the thing: I'm being as objective as a journalist can be. Like, I'm taking a journalistic view of this. I'm not doing this to be like, fuck the Eagles because I'm a Giants fan. Like, the fact. Listen, I have both the Eagles and the Cowboys ahead of the Giants, and I dropped the Giants. This isn't a case of where, like, I'm just being a dick because of fans. Like, I'm looking at this. This list is an objective list. It really is. Whether you think it's not, because you're an Eagles fan, you think everything is against you. But
yeah. So the only probably maybe issue I would have, other than the Eagles, is why did you have Seattle jump up so high, so many spots, and the Giants, you have them 3 spots down from where they're at?
Because again, you had Giants who were the number 5 team in these things. You had Seattle who, again, a lot like the Giants, were battling preseason notions. Now again, they had more losses than Giants. They had 3 losses. Giants only had 1. You you saw how the like, and here's the other thing too. At the end of the day, they have that Kenneth Walker kid, who is phenomenal as a running back, and he just provides them sparks, and is an amazing talent. I think he got the rookie of the week this week anyway. And Gino is playing amazingly well. Their defense is playing well, and they're leading a division. And they're leading a division when they were thought to be the worst team in the NFL this year, going into the year. Yeah. And they've shown not only are they the worst, not the worst team, but that they're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. They're going to be a hard team to beat, especially now. It seems like they have an identity of who they kind of know who they are now. And I think that's something too, is like they know they got a feel for themselves. They know who they are. They know how to play with each other. They know how to play against these other teams. And they're not going to be an easy team to get out. And I think, well, that has to be recognized. So in looking at all the other teams that I had and where they were and how just the eyeball test works with them and how I feel about them, I put them where I think they deserve to be. And I know other people are going to argue with me and say, well, that the Ravens should be higher. Why aren't the Ravens there? Why aren't the 49ers? Look at how good the 49ers are now with Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. It's fine. And I said, I think the Niners are going to be wagging, and I think they're going to shoot up these rankings within the next week or so because of the fact that they have Christian McCaffrey. But you have to show that consistently. Yeah. And that's the thing. Now, for the last 4 weeks or so, the Seahawks have shown consistently that they can hang and they can play and that they can beat good teams. And people might want to sit there and say the Giants weren't a good team. Giants are a good team. Giants were a 6-1, now a 6-2 team. They're 6-2 because of the Seahawks. Granted, I also think that some of that was the Giants' own mistakes, but a big part of football is special teams. And guess what? You can't make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you lose. Yeah. And that was shown. But on top of that, if you make the mistake, that's fine, but the other team has to capitalize on it. And the Seahawks did that.
I mean, the only
bad teams get mistakes made to them, and then they fuck it up.
Yeah. I mean, majority of your rankings I could agree with. The only thing I would switch would be probably put Seattle above the Giants. Maybe drop them down one spot.
Seattle is above the Giants.
Like, literally above the Giants. You have Titans 7 and then Seahawks 6.
So you'd have the Titans up at 6 and Seahawks down at 7.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen. This is the point of the list. Is to kind of have the debate about why you would move a team there. Why do I have this team there? That's the whole point of it, which is why I like doing this, to hopefully get some of that interaction with the listeners, which they can do over on our Twitter and most of our other social media at ST Sports Podcast. Let us know what you think about my rankings. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? Did I hit it on the nail? Or hit the nail on the head, or whatever that saying is, or any of the other things. If let us know. Let us see what you think about what would be your NFL top 12 power rankings. Let us know.
I will say, I like your little added where they were last week, like the +6, -3.
Yeah, I like that. I was doing it, and I was like, people don't, because then you have to go back and look at the other list and see what is that, everything like that. So I like this one. It's a little easier to do that. So I just added that on there real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Let you know if there's any change, if they're up, if they're down, if they were ranked or not. So we can go that way and see. And now we'll see. We're roughly halfway through the season, so it's time to this is now we only got half a season of football left. I'm sad.
Don't say that, okay?
I know.
Because I'm still not sure what's going on with my Flyers. I'm not sure if they're real, if they're fake, what's going on with them. But
hey!
I know where you're going with it. I did see
about
it.
Them fucking Devils, baby.
Still on
Make a move. Listen, I still on the hashtag Fire Rough train. Don't get me wrong. I still think we can get a lot better coaches than him. Not big on him. Don't get me wrong. If we fired him tomorrow, I'd still be a happy guy. But hey, that was looking good. But this is the problem: is that we'll look good now, and by this time in March, we'll be fucking sniffing the Blue Jackets asshole. So. I don't want that. I want us to continue to do well. The Flyers, I think, are a lot like, I have concerns about them as well because it's like, it got off to a hot start,
And
how long can they maintain that?
I think they lost their past 2 games. I know they lost last night. And you know what? I also want to say Matthews from
bitch made cat. That dude is a bitch. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you.
I have seen the clip. I've seen Bissonnette talk about the clip from Barstool Spit and Chicklets. Fucking bitch. He's a bitch made cat.
At least I will give Crosby one.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Michael Rupp from That's Hockey Talk.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's
the one who pointed out the clip.
I'll give Crosby one little piece of credit, because when he does a bitch move like that, he'll skate away and just stop. Matthews kept on, okay, my guys came in, they pick up Konechny.
He's just standing around. And the one guy tries to do something. Like, here's the thing. He starts the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then lets other dudes jump in, laughs at the dude while his buddies are in there trying to fuck him up. And then when somebody goes to try to grab him, he kind of pushes away, like looks away sheepishly.
Yeah.
Like the little bitch made cat he is. Yeah, no. And there's the Toronto fans are out there trying to defend him. Man, what kind of skill guy? No skill guy fights. You know what? Yes, they do. And especially because you know what? You don't want to be a bitch.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're and that's what he did. He started a fight. He didn't finish it. And then he laughed about it.
And then even the funnier part about it is when Konechny slashed him, or hacked at him, as they said on the he towers over Travis. He's a big
Austin
dude.
Matthews could have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
like you look at it, like he's got the height, he's got the weight.
He had
Austin
everything.
Matthews, in that fight is what that's what I mean, and that's what I mean. That's what it means to be a bitch.
Yeah,
is that there's a fight that he could easily win, but he's such a bitch. He'll never fight. He's just like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to hurt myself.
Yeah.
I might hurt a knuckle or something. And then what am I going to do? I can't do a wrister. Come on.
I'll crack my pink fingernail.
I'll have my buddy do it. Now listen, we're not making fun of any particular demographic or
no, we're not.
Don't take it as that. We're just saying that this dude is a bitch. He's a straight up bitch made cat. And listen, if you can't be a bitch in hockey, you can try to get away with it in other sports, but you try to do it in hockey. Listen, because this is the thing. People are going to start taking a run at him.
Oh, yeah.
Especially off that. They're going to start making a run at that kid. So, I mean, whatever. But, it's Toronto, too. So, fuck Toronto.
They'll be out round 1.
Again, as always.
So, before we go, do you want to do some blue picks?
Let's do the blue picks. Hey, can I ask a question real quickly right before we do the blue picks?
Sure.
Are the blue picks sponsored by Dubby?
Yes.
Oh, what a guess. God damn, I'm good at this.
So make sure you guys head over to WGG. Dubby is a Monster Energy drink that gives you... Let me retry that again. I'm going to beep that part out. W.GG is a energy drink. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash or jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. And it's perfect for you, King.
Now, see, here's the other thing, too. If you just listen to Jimbo read that, he clearly needs focus and energy.
Yeah.
And if he would have had some Dubby before the show, he would have had that to be able to do that read flawlessly. Now, that's the thing, too. That's the great thing about Dubby is that it doesn't have any sugar in it. It doesn't have any of those artificial things in it that make you go, or something like, especially me being a diabetic, it would kill me. Dubby's not going to kill me. It's going to give me the focus. It's going to make sure that I don't have any of the jitters. And because it doesn't have the sugar, it's not only going to not kill me because I'm diabetic, but the same thing for me, for you, for anybody, whether you're diabetic or not, it's not going to give you those after, those late night crashes. Or you drink it, it's like, oh, I'm full of energy. And then you crash, you get that sugar crash, and it's like, oh, God, I feel like shit. It's not going to do that for you, So that's a great thing to have. Gives you focus. Like we said, Jimbo could have used it for the read. But all you need to know is simply this. You have all these flavors, wonderful flavors, many flavors, and I think they even got some new ones now there as well. You can go on their website, w.gg. You can look at all the options available there for you. They have different sizes. They have different flavors. They have even merchandise there for you if you're so inclined to do so. And the cool thing is once you get to the checkout, if you go ahead and put in the promo code STSports18, and that's all in capital letters, you're going to get 10% off of your W order. You can't beat that deal.
Yeah, you can't. And you know what? I'm going to try and contact with Ross Chastain. I wonder if he used W using that wall ride there, because that needed focus.
You needed to have focus, laser focus.
Yeah.
Because that's it. One wrong move, it's going to be something going on. So I'll tell you what, that was if it's not a term yet, that was a dubby move. That was, and you know what? He got to the championship, which is a big dubby if you want to talk about it because it's a W.
Yeah,
you got the big W, you got the dub, you got the dubby. You go to w.gg. You can get a big dub as well if you put in the promo code STSports18, all capital letters, and get yourself that 10% off.
All right, so reviewing last week, King, did you happen to see your picks?
I think my blowout pick, I believe, was the Eagles against the Steelers. Is that correct?
Yes, it was, and we won by 22.
I was going to say, so I knew that, again, pardon me, I knew that was a blowout.
So that's 3 weeks in a row that you at least got one pick right out of the three.
We're turning the corner here. We're turning the corner.
I took the Dolphins. They won, but they only won by 4, which is very surprising. I really thought they were going to blow them out. How about your lock pick? Do you remember your lock pick?
That was the Dallas game against Chicago, I believe.
Yes. And
we all know that Dallas blew them the fuck out. So that's another win.
So congratulations on your first 2 win in a week.
That's a 2-win week. Look at that. All right. I feel good about myself.
I took the Ravens. They won. Moving on to our upset. Do you remember your upset pick?
Actually, I don't. Who the fuck did I pick for an upset? I don't even know because it was hard. We couldn't find an upset pick. I remember that.
You took Washington.
Oh, I took the Commanders of Redskin football team,
and they won. So it's your first 3 for 3.
I got the sweep. I got the sweep, baby. Oh, look at that. See, mid-season form. I'm in mid-season form, baby.
You're heating up you're heating up at the right time.
Right at the right time. Here we go. I'm going to get to the playoffs eventually.
And I took Carolina, who lost in overtime.
That was close. I'll tell you what, man. DJ Moore almost, he did, because let's face facts. If that was an extra point where the extra point usually is, that game's over there. He shouldn't have taken. Like I don't understand how you do that. You know that you can't take your helmet off in this league, but sure enough, he did it.
All right. So for week 9, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I will go first, and this one's going to be fairly easy for me because it's tonight's game, and I'm picking the same team to blow out as I did last week. That's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles over the Houston Texans. They're favored by 14. They only have to win by 10. I think they'll do that easily. The Texans are absolute asshole. So the Eagles are going to clap them booty cheeks down in Houston. Whether or not the Phillies clap the Astros, you don't know. Maybe they'll get no hit again. Maybe they won't. Make sure you have your Wawa hoagie ready. Which was
Wawa
great.
hoagie.
They got dragged. Did you see that?
The
Wawa?
No, I didn't see Wawa get dragged.
Yeah, because they made a tweet yesterday that said take a bite of your hoagie every time the Phillies get a hit.
Oh,
before the game, they're like, make sure you do that. And it's like people started posting memes about it, like the skeleton next to the hoagie being like, I'm starving. I don't know what's going on. So, but yeah, that's going to be my blowout. Is the Eagles over to the Texans on Thursday Night Football.
All right, I am taking the Chiefs over the Tennessee Titans.
As a blowout?
I mean, Chiefs are favored 12.5. And, if we go off of your power rankings, they should blow them out.
And listen, I think the Chiefs are good. Listen, the Chiefs should win. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I would pick the Chiefs to win. But to blow out Tennessee? I don't know if I'd go 10 points on that one. I don't know. But, hey, listen. I'm not going to talk you out of it. You do your picks.
Listen,
you do
just because you had your first 3 for 3 week doesn't mean you're just Swami now, okay?
Are we keeping a track of what our wins and losses?
Because you gave up. You gave up because you.
I didn't give up. No, man. I want to know. By the end of the year, I want to know what we are. Because if I make a huge comeback, I'm gonna be fucking pumped.
All because you don't trust me with figuring out the records because you want to put an asterisk next to the season for week.
I'm not going to put an asterisk there or anything. I just want to know what the fucking records are. Whether or not I win or lose, I don't give a shit. I just want to know how I did.
All right. Lock pick?
Lock pick. I don't know why I'm doing a National Geographic thing. I'm going to go with my lock. Oh, man, I got to go with a lock here, huh? Oh, Jesus Christ. I will go with... Oh, shit. Do I want... No, man.
Decisions. Oh.
I know. I would normally do this one, but...
See? This is why you need Dubby.
See, yeah, I know. I would need to focus. I would normally pick the Packers to beat the Lions as a lock, but that's not a lock this year. That's definitely not a lock. I will. Here's go. I will go for my lock. I will do the Buffalo Bills over the New York Jets. I like the Jets. They're a cute story. They've been, I think, doing overperforming. But if Zach Wilson plays the way that Zach Wilson has played the last 2 games, they're not going to win this game. This could be also a blowout pick if you wanted it. But I'm going to do this for my lock. Buffalo Bills over the New York Jets.
All right. I'm going with Miami over Cleveland. Miami's 4.5 favorite. And I think you're going to see how well these trades are going to turn out for Miami in this game. I think the defense is going to be all over Cleveland. And I think Tua is going to and win the game.
Tua.
Okay, Uso.
I know I had to do a little Roman Reigns there. Sorry, everybody.
All right, upset pick.
Upset pick. I'm going to take what you had as your blowout pick. I'm going to take that as the upset pick. I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans upset the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City with a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. And if that's the case, your Eagles will probably move up in the power rankings if that happens. So you should be kind of rooting for that as well. And not only that, but I don't really see too many more upsets on here. So I'll go with the Tennessee Titans with a mid-season upset at Arrowhead against Kansas City Chiefs.
All right. So one, I will predict that if Tennessee does beat Kansas City, Philly will not move up in your rankings just because you're trolling me. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Well, I was going to pick the Rams, but I must have looked at the odds wrong. Rams are favorited, not underdogs.
No, the Rams are underdogs.
I thought minus 3 means...
Yeah, they're +3 against Tampa Bay.
What one are you looking at?
I'm looking at FanDuel.
Rams are playing Cardinals.
Oh, okay. I was on the wrong week. Okay.
And you want me to keep track here of the scores?
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if there ever was a better advertisement for Dubby, it's this segment because we're all over the fucking place. We need some focus here. Go to dubby.gg. Get yourself some focus like we need at this point. Okay, yeah, no, I see what you're talking about.
Okay, so upset. You know what? Screw it.
That's what I mean. It's hard to do.
I'll go with the Steelers. They're +3 against the Saints. I think.
Let me see here. Is that who they're playing?
Yeah. Yeah. Saints are at Pittsburgh.
Why is it so hard to find some? What? Wait. Yeah, no. No, Rams in Tampa Bay. That's what's happened. Sunday, 4:26. And the Rams are... Yeah, so you're looking at the wrong ones.
Why does FanDuel do this? So they put week 9 and week 10 up here. I scrolled all the way down. All right.
Yeah, because the Ravens and Saints is Monday night.
So I originally had the Rams as my...
So the Rams are underdogs to the Buccaneers. They're at Tampa Bay.
So yeah,
Tampa Bay's favored by 3. They got the home point.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Rams. Tom Brady's just not Tom Brady no more.
So we just got rid of the 5 rule. Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, last week we decided to go with 3 points.
Well, that's because there was no games that I think were under that had 5-point spreads. So that were worthy of being an upset
pick. Yeah. So that's our blue picks, which is presented by Dubby. Make sure you guys head over.
Which we fucking needed.
With probably this whole episode, we needed some of that shit. Make sure you head over to dubby.gg and use the promo code STSports18, all capital letters, to get 10% off of your purchase.
Get that 10%. You're going to need it. If you listen to us, you'll know you're going to need it.
Exactly. So, if you're undecided, just listen to the past 10 minutes of this episode, and that'll prove it to you.
All right, man. Let's put this show out of its misery. Let's go.
So, till next week, it's your good friend Jimbo.
And it's King.
See ya.